everybody, I'm here with Karen from Big Cartel. How you doing, Karen?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, it's great to have you. I'm always wanting to learn new things, and I think Big Cartel is something that maybe not a lot of my audience have heard of before. So I wanted to bring it out, and who's the better person to talk about it than somebody who's been there a while? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how long you've been Big Cartel and what you do there.
Yes, thank you. I have been at Big Cartel forever, which should say something how much I love Big Cartel. I've been there for,
That's good.
it'll be 17 years in September. Yep, 17
Wow,
years in September.
17.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I've been on the support team. I'm support manager.
Okay.
And I have, it's been great to be there kind of almost from the very beginning because I've been able to see like the pain, the growing pains and then the successes and to see how far we have come from where we started has been such a treat for me to be able to
Wow.
witness and still be here and watch the day-to-day change.
Yeah, yeah, and so many things have changed in online in general, but I'm sure with Big Cartel. Thanks so much for being joining us or helping me on my channel and letting people know what it's all about. I know you got to be super busy being there a long time, but I think all the questions I have here are things that people actually would want to know about it. So this will be a big help for people that are watching. So thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.
Um, I'm going to get right into it. I think the first thing that is important is kind of the Big Cartel overview. So, for anyone in the POD space who may not be familiar with Big Cartel, can you explain what Big Cartel is and the type of sellers it was originally built for?
Yeah. So Big Cartel is an e-commerce platform, and we have become the go-to platform for independent makers and creatives, small brands, basically sellers who want to sell their stuff online without a hassle. And because we're geared towards smaller sellers, we've designed Big Cartel to make it easy to set up a store online really quickly so you can start selling quickly and keep more of what you earn. We don't charge transaction fees, and our premium plans are really affordable while still offering the features and the tools that sellers need, but without the complexity. And that matters because sellers are already like neck deep in the creative process. They don't want to spend ages figuring out how to get their stuff online. They just want to get it done and still have a shop that looks really good. And that's really where we come in. And we've been doing this a long time. I haven't been there since the very beginning because Big Cartel started out in 2005.
Yeah.
And the original goal was actually our two co-founders. One was a graphic designer and one was in a band. He was a developer and he wanted to figure out a way to get his band's merch online
Oh,
so that
okay.
he could
Yeah.
sell it easily. So they built Big Cartel for that purpose.
Wow.
Um, yeah, right. But the funniest thing too is that the very first person who signed up for a Big Cartel shop was not like a band. It was a t-shirt designer,
Okay.
literally. And it was funny because the co-founders were like, wait, what is this? And it's just, bloomed from there. So yeah, 20 years later, we're still all about independent sellers.
That's so cool. And
Yeah.
2005 is when I started doing print on demand in with Cafe Press and stuff. So I like that
Oh
tie-in.
my
That's
God.
good. Yeah, I've been
Okay.
on doing it for a long, long time. So pretty cool. That's a big year for
Yeah.
both Big Cartel and me. Okay, so I think a lot of people have heard of Shopify. I think the second question then is why choose Big Cartel over Shopify? What are the biggest reasons someone might choose Big Cartel instead? You kind of mentioned the ease of it. I'm sure that's part of it. Maybe there's some other things.
Yeah, simplicity and costs are definitely going to be big factors for sellers. That's
Yeah.
understandable, and that's really where Big Cartel shines. We're less expensive. Our setup is designed to be really user friendly, so you can get a shop set up and live really quickly without having to learn a complex system. All the basics are built in and contained within the back end, so it's a much more low maintenance approach, which is great because again, sellers can spend minimal time getting their shop set up and looking great and then just get back to doing what they do best. So
Mhm.
really whether you're just starting out or you've been selling online for ages and every
Mhm.
single platform there is, it is the best option for cost and simplicity because you have everything you need to build and manage a successful online business without having to commit to maybe a really advanced or potentially complicated system that might have features that you're paying for but you don't really need.
Mm.
So yeah, it's really great for new sellers and established sellers who just want a really great standalone shop.
Yeah, good. Wow, I love that. Yeah, I think that's right on for POD sellers? Because a lot of POD sellers want to concentrate, like you said, concentrate on the design part, and all the other stuff is kind of, not our field. we
Right. Yeah.
we'd like
I
that
just
to
sell it.
have.
I have all this cool stuff. Just help me sell it. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. So my third question is kind of geared around that for POD sellers, and that is, how long has Big Cartel been supporting print-on-demand sellers, and have you seen that segment grow over time?
Yes, we launched our first print-on-demand integration with Printful back
Mhm.
in 2015, so just over a decade ago. And what started with just a few sellers using only Printful back then has expanded quite a bit. We have more print-on-demand integrations now, and we've got over 88,000 sellers using Printful alone. So we've been working with print-on-demand for a while. And I actually remember, because I've been there for so long, I'm patient zero, I like to joke. I remember when the Printful integration launched, we went in, we made our own little test accounts in shops. We had tote bags and t-shirts printed up with the Big Cartel logo. It was so much fun. I still use it for myself just
Wow.
for fun. Like if someone says something funny, I'll be like, oh, that should be on a mug. And like I'll get a
Mhm.
mug made for like a
Mhm.
friend and I'll give it to them. Print
Perfect.
on demand is the best.
Well, good. I'm glad that you've had lots of experience with print-on-demand sellers. That's a good sign. Next question, kind of related, is maybe if someone wanted to start their own PLD store today, how easy is it to set up a Big Cartel store from scratch? What's kind of the process? What does that look like?
Yeah, sure. So setting up a Big Cartel shop from scratch is so easy. You literally sign up, add your products, connect your checkout, you go live.
Okay.
Sellers who want to use print on demand, they just sync their print on demand products in their Big Cartel shop. And that's the only fundamental difference in the setup between sellers who physically fulfill their orders on their end and sellers who print on demand. So if you'd like, if this would be a good time, I can
Yeah,
share my screen so that I can show you how
absolutely.
easy it is to use. We'll do Printful, for example,
Okay,
with Big
let's
Cartel,
try
if
it.
that works.
All right. So here's Printful. Okay.
All
So
right.
you logged into Printful, right?
Yes, this is one of my Printful test accounts. It
Okay.
is connected to my Big Cartel test account, my favorite
Okay.
store.
Nice,
As you can
nice.
see, it's a really super simple, clean UI to go from.
Uh-huh.
You can see exactly where you need to go. So we'll just click
Uh-huh.
add a product here, and then
Okay.
we'll end up over on the catalog. So we can use the left navigation, or we can just use some of their featured products. So I'll go ahead and
Nice.
make a luggage tag.
Okay.
And then this is their design section. You can go back to their product catalog. You can go look at your previous uploads. You can add text to their products. You can
Nice.
check your saved designs. You can use their clip art or their quick designs. But I'm going to go ahead and drag an image over this. And we'll see if my rural internet is good enough to be able to handle. That's
Testing
always
it
a rare.
live. You never know. You got the
Oh my
spinny.
goodness. Like, is this one
Oh,
click too much? Oh, it might be too much. All right, so we'll just do
oh.
their clip art. Just
We can
we'll do
imagine.
the melty face. How's that? Okay,
Yeah, melty face. That's cool.
there we go. And a awesome thing about print on demand is that they're so good with their communication. I'm sure
Uh-huh.
your sellers who are familiar with print on demand already know.
Hmm.
Like they tell you if it's a good file or if you need to fix it, or
Yes,
it's
yes.
so great about that. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and just click continue here.
So this is
And
all in Printful, right? This is all
yes,
in Printful, and you're
this is
doing
all in
this stuff.
Printful. My shop is connected to Printful.
Yep.
So I usually just do the basic mockups. You can do custom, but their basic
Okay.
mockups are always really good.
Nice. Yeah,
So
it's
I'll
really
go ahead
nice.
and choose this kind of real life
Yeah.
option here. And it states right here, this looks like this particular mockup is not available for preview, but anything that's pushed to my shop will actually have my design on it. So I don't have to
Okay.
panic.
Very
So
cool.
we'll just click continue there. And then this is everything that's going to be pushed to my shop. The product title,
Okay.
I can go ahead and change it.
Yep.
I can change their description however I want. I can, just tweak it or just totally destroy it and start from scratch. They let you add the benefits of on-demand manufacturing to your product description, but sellers aren't going to do
Cool.
that. I never check that. And then I don't sell to the EU, so I don't need to worry about checking that. This right here is
Okay.
just the main thing that sellers will want to look at. It has
Yep.
to be clicked to be able to actually push to your Big Cartel shop.
Nice.
And then they pull in my shop's product categories. They'll
Okay.
kind of just guess at first, but I'll just
Oh,
select
look, there's a
this is an
bunch. Yeah.
accessory.
Yeah,
So it
not a
takes care of
t-shirt.
that.
That's right.
Yep. And then we'll click continue. And then this is their pricing page. This is the last page before I actually push it to my shop.
Okay.
So they'll tell sellers how much they're going to get charged. I'd get charged
Mm-hmm.
$13.20 as a seller.
Right.
So Printful does not charge a monthly fee. They do have an option. It's called Printful Growth
Yes.
that you can sign up for. So you actually get cheaper products with it.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
I'm not on it. So
if you're selling a lot of them, that's probably the way to go, because then you pay like a premium, but then you make it back in sales.
Exactly. And it's a decent price break.
Yeah.
For sure.
Look at that.
Yeah. And then over here is the suggested retail and how much I would make. And that, sellers can change that to however they like.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just submit it to your shop.
Okay.
And again, rural internet, this usually only takes about 30 seconds to generate and, get pushed to the shop.
Right.
And then when that's done, you'll actually see, and as we can see, I've got unsynced products.
You got a bunch.
I'm not a legit seller.
Nice.
But yeah, there we go. And now I'll just hop over to my Big Cartel shop.
Oh, good. I was wondering I was going to ask you, what does your Big Cartel shop look like? Okay.
Yeah, so this is just the back end. These are just some of my test products. And all you need to do is just refresh the page. Ta-da, there it is.
There it is.
That's literally it. Very now cool. That product would be in my Big Cartel shop ready to go.
Okay. Yeah. That looked pretty easy to me. And then I'm guessing the Big Cartel shop, it kind of looks like maybe you have templates and things like, I don't know if I was going to ask that later on, but it looks like you can customize it a little bit and have different colors and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next question. Let me see. Which print-on-demand services currently integrate with Big Cartel? Are there any other ones besides Printful?
Yes. Big Cartel sellers can use, in addition to Printful, Printify, Art of Wear, Ink Threadable, and Creative Hub, which is a print-on-demand platform for fine art prints. Ooh, so you can basically print on demand anything.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot. That's a good mix. All right. Cool. I should put myself back on here. Next question. For someone who's never built their own website before, what features does Big Cartel offer that make it beginner friendly? Kind of more specific.
Yeah, easy is such a key word here. It's so easy. You can get set up and launched within 30 minutes. Like all the basics are built in the shop backend. Like I mentioned, you can even import products from other platforms like Etsy to make setup even faster. So it's super, super user-friendly, whether you've got shops on other platforms or this is your very first online shop. There just aren't a ton of levers you have to pull to get up and running. It's just a super focused back end with, product section, order section, design, shop settings. And then you can do other stuff down the road. Like we have custom pages that are built in. So you can add your About Us page, your frequently asked questions page, your returns policy. So really from adding a product to connecting the checkout to designing your shop, it's all intentionally clean and simple and straightforward, which we have found really helps prevent those horrible moments that, pop up when you're learning any new platform or app where you're that confused puppy looking at the screen like, I don't know what half of this means.
Yeah.
And that's our goal, just to keep it really simple, but keep it complete. Like everything necessary is already built in.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. I love that it's really simple because that's kind of what separates you guys apart and makes people want to join Big Cartel because it's a lot easier to use. The other thing that you mentioned was the price. So let's talk about that. Cost is a big factor for POD sellers. How does Big Cartel's pricing structure compare to other e-commerce platforms?
Yeah, definitely understandable. Cost is always a big thing. And Big Cartel is definitely on the more economic end of that scale with our paid plan starting at $15 a month. And if a seller wants to pay for the full year in one go, we actually even give a price break on that. So it works out to only $12 a month. So yeah, definitely on the cheaper end of that scale. And if any of your viewers want to try out print on demand with Big Cartel, they can get the first month on our $15 plan for just $1. So your viewers can just use the promo code Juna when upgrading from the free plan, so they can play around with it and see how they like it.
Hey, that's a surprise. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. Thanks so much for giving that. I think that's great to try it out for $1, see if they like it, see how easy it is to use. And wow, that's great. And really $15 a month or $12 a month, that's like 2 sales, right? So if you sell 2 things, you pay.
We're a good deal. We try hard.
Pretty good deal. Yeah, pretty good deal. All right. And depending what you sell, I'm sure if you sell something like a higher profit margin, that was just t-shirts. But if you sell something with a bigger profit margin, that's probably just one sale. So,
Right.
um, okay, next one. Thanks for answering that one. We talk about, I want to focus on scaling your POD brand. So if a POD seller starts gaining traction and selling hundreds or thousands of products, how well does Big Cartel support scaling a brand to get bigger and bigger and bigger?
Yeah, Big Cartel is kind of perfect for scaling independent brands because we don't charge a transaction fee like some platforms do.
True.
So
Yep.
sellers keep more of their revenue, which really starts to add up because the more you sell, the more you keep, or the more gets kind of skimmed off the top by a third party. We have sellers moving thousands of units and have millions in sales. So you can
Wow.
definitely start small and go big.
Mhm.
Since Big Cartel is designed for smaller sellers, there are some built-in limitations to the number of products and variants you can offer, which is likely going to be the point where a seller has become an enterprise and really needs a different platform. But for the overwhelming majority of independent sellers who have, a growing engaged audience, there's really no better value. And for sellers who use print on demand, you can do it all with Big Cartel and there's no additional fee. So it's pretty
Wow.
amazing.
That is pretty cool. Really, really cool. All right. Next one is customization and branding. I know a lot of people want to make their shop look like their shop and kind of customize it. So one advantage of having your own store, like your own website, is branding. How customizable are Big Cartel stores for sellers who want to build a strong brand identity?
Big Cartel shops are incredibly customizable, and I would say that's where the most levers exist in the shop's back end. There are built-in templates to choose from, so sellers don't
Right.
have to know any coding. They can add design elements like slideshow images and logos and header images. They can change font and color of, everything, their hover, their background, everything, even tiny details like how the pricing and product name is displayed and where it's displayed is customizable. How many products are going to be on the page? All the social media buttons are built in. The shop messaging is built in, like your homepage announcement, your vacation messaging. You can do footer announcements in text. It's all so built in and fun. And I get a little excited about customization because it's personally my favorite part of creating a big cartel shop, because even though there are a lot of built-in options there, it's still so simple and so straightforward and you can't break anything. Like you could
Nice.
spend, 3 hours making this beautiful shop and then do like 3 changes too many. And you're like, oh, I hate it. I have to start over. You can either like walk those changes back or you can just destroy it and start your design from scratch. It's like I said, you can't break anything. You just get to play around and have fun in your shop's design.
Oh, cool. That is fun. So yeah, use that code and you can just try it out and not break anything. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Um, the last question I have is advice for POD sellers. You talked about a lot of the different things about Big Cartel, like showing how it works and the differences and everything. For someone currently selling in marketplaces like Etsy, Amazon, or Redbubble, what would you say are the advantages of also having your own store on Big Cartel? I know you mentioned some, but maybe we can wrap it all together.
Yeah, sure. Marketplaces are great. I love marketplaces for shopping, and discovery is really important. So
Yeah.
for someone who's already selling on Etsy or another marketplace, I'd say it's not about replacing those platforms. It's instead
Hmm.
about having a place where you have more control, a place where you're not next to every other product in the
Mm.
marketplace. When you've got customers searching for your brand, a place where you're not competing to get to page one and stay on page one. And it's
Hmm.
harder to stand out in a sea of products when you're just trying to build your own brand. So really it's about having your own shop, your own space, where you get to protect your brand and build it, because you get to control all of it. You get to build direct relationships with your shop visitors and customers, because once those visitors land in your Big Cartel shop, that traffic is all yours. You're not sharing them with anyone.
True, true.
So really it's your store, your own brand identity, and your traffic. And so sellers might have some products on Etsy, some on Amazon, maybe some on Redbubble, and then that Big Cartel shop, plus a print on demand integration, can be that standalone storefront where you're not competing with other
Hmm.
products or sellers. You're just instead focusing on your own brand and building it on your own terms.
That's awesome. Yes, I agree totally with that. Because then, yeah, once people get to your site, they're gonna hopefully
Right?
pick one of your stuff and not be taken to somebody else. Yeah,
They're all
yeah,
yours.
they're all yours. Exactly. Well, great. This has been a great interview. I put the link down here to Big Cartel. Is there anything else before we close this interview? I'm sure this is where they would go to learn more about Big Cartel, bigcartel.com.
Yep, that's where we're at.
Okay, great. Any last words before we leave this interview? Anything
No,
you
I
want to
think we
say?
covered
Yeah.
it. Thank you so
Good.
much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being on here. I know you're very busy with Big Cartel. It's been a long time there too, and so you're one of the very important people there. So thank you so much for spending time with me on the channel. I hope a lot of people try it out. There'll be a code, like you said, in the description, so people can definitely try it out for just $1 and see how it works and everything. I think it's a great option to have. And with the integration, like you said, if you already have something, you can just take all of that and put it on a Big Cartel shop pretty easy, sounds like. So
Yeah. And
cool.
we're always happy to help. So just reach out to us and support. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Karen. It's great to have you on my channel. Hopefully we do another one of these interviews in a year or so, or as people learn more about it and maybe have some questions.
Cool. We'll be here. Thank you. All
right. See you next time.
right. See ya. Bye.